Hello, listeners and viewers out there. Welcome to the first edition of Weekend File, brought to you exclusively by CrossRiverWatch.com, your premier online news portal for everything and anything news in Cross River State. My name is Victoria Effium. Weekend File is a news program on Cross River Watch television and radio that delves deep beyond the headlines, news, and analysis that dominated public discourse within the week in Cross River State and in the Niger Delta region. And now to the big reveal. Our guest for this week is Darlington Edem. He is a journalist, publisher of the Parchment, and chairman, Association of Cross River Online Journalists. Well, we're going to take a quick break now. When I come back, we will bring you the headlines. The show continues. Welcome back to Weekend Files. We now go straight to the big headlines. Lawyers engaged by Cross River State government protest 26 months old salaries. Project Alert launched documentary on community services for survivors of gender-based violence. Oxfam co-trained civic space actors in Calabar proposes school integrity club. Being more light on border tracking is Isine Ibanga to journalists. NDA publishes candidates for 73 RC, and the Cross River State list is out. Several shortlisted Cross Riverians missed Nigerian Customs interview. We're going to take a quick break now and invite our guest analyst, Darlington Edem, to react to most of these stories. Welcome to the program.
Thank you very much, Victoria.
Okay, so a lot has happened in the past 7 days in Cross River State and beyond, from lawyers engaged by the Cross River State government protesting 26 months old salaries. What's your take on this?
Well, let me say that, first of all, that it's really sad. This is not the first time we're having this. Few weeks ago, we had also issues where a situation where some judges, actually magistrates rather, came out to the streets of Calabar to protest. Let me say that this is very sad. This shouldn't be the case. Where you have a situation where magistrates who are supposed to actually sit in the office and adjudicate on issues go to the streets because they cannot afford to eat, they cannot afford to send their school and children to school, cannot afford to pay school fees. I think that it spells doom for our judicial system. And also a situation where you have state prosecutors go to the street and begin to protest because it's of the same issue. I think that this is the lowest point that we can go in our state.
Okay, there's another headline here. Being more light on border tracking is Isine Ibanga to journalists. Now, how important is it for journalists to go into border tracking?
Yeah, investigative journalism is key, and border tracking is absolutely very important. It helps to be more light on public governance. And if journalists fail to do their job, that means governance will break down, and that's why you hear of issues of corruption here and there. And budget tracking is a critical aspect of beaming satellite on public governance. So I agree absolutely that this is very apt, and I commend the organizers of the program.
We're going to take a quick break at this point. When we come back, we'll bring you more headlines. This is Weekend File on CrossRiverWatch Radio and Television, and we're going to continue with our news headlines. Gunmen kidnap ex-council chair in Ugem. Also in the headlines, Stephen Ode, Joe Agi versus Jaribe Adam and Buhari Malami rule of law. Legacy by First Baba Isa. Unical decries talk stuff on sorting and sex for grades. Shun 25,000 PS exam fee, Cross River Labour tells directors. People's Power will ensure APC vacates government in 2023. This is from Venatius Ikem. Arthur Jarvis University appoints J.D. Abba as Board of Trustee Chairman. And now to security. CP Akonde hands over command to CP Aminu and writes cross-riverians. Still on the headlines, Usman Goma takes over as 29th AIG of Zone 9 Calabar. Ono Jaribe at Court of Appeal Abuja over endless Cross-River North sites litigation. Over now to education, WAEC reopens Calabar office, says all records are intact. NAS report card. Cross River Reps members contributed 1.03% of house bills in 2 years. Still on the legislature, Cross River local government councillors decry poor welfare, seeks audience with Ayade. Still on NAS report card. Gesham is best performing legislator in Cross River as late Rose Oko tops Ono Ode. I'd like us to begin at this particular point. Do you think Gesham is the best performing legislator in Cross River?
Well, I spoke with my friend, Ms. Oke, who is the man at the end of affair in other paper. And I don't know how the rating came about, but I know that put it on record, our legislators have been performing very poorly recently. I know that from the record that is in public space, Honorable Lego in the House of Representatives actually sponsored about 7 bills, and I've not had the opportunity to look at that of the Senate. However, I believe in the capacity of the organization, and I whatever they come up with, I believe that is actually the best. So, Gesham Basi being the best performing legislator, I think that as time unfolds, we will get to see, because there are a lot of other issues that you need to put in place in order to actually rate them. So I believe that with time we will get to know exactly why that he came up tops. Okay,
so the man said with time we will know why he got that. Now let's move over to the educational sector. During the #EndSARS protest, the WAEC office was burnt down in Calabar, but now they have reopened and they're saying that all records are intact. What do you think about that?
I think it's a good news there, because we were worried that critical documents within that important office will be lost forever. But thank God that this is coming from them, that their documents are intact. I'm happy that apart from the destruction of its physical structures, we have important documents. Because when you want to look at it, it's a long time. You can trace as long as 1950 something, as long since WAEC came into existence. But if we are hearing this from WAEC, then that means it's a good news for all of us.
Well, I will agree with you that it is good news, because a lot of persons were really scared that Nigerian technology, most people thought were not really technologically advanced to keep those records intact. So,
and I'm also thinking that they must have uploaded some of those information online, that made it very easy for them to retract some of those information.
Yeah, definitely. But let's just talk about this now. Unical is talking about sex for grades. They are planning to fish out lecturers or people who insist in carrying out such acts.
Well, I think this is coming at the right time, and for me, it shouldn't just be about talk. It should be about action. We'll be hearing this not just in Unica, all over tertiary institutions across Nigeria. There should be action against erring lecturers. Not just lecturers, also there should be also action against erring students, because sometimes you have a situation where students themselves throw themselves at lecturers, and lecturers will not have any option than to receive the offer. So at this point, if we are talking about sex for grade, whether it's sorting also, we need to have a big hammer, to save as a lesson for others to run away from, because it must be looked at it both ways, student to lecturers and then lecturers to students.
Well, but just to update you, I feel the new administration in Unical is now all about talk, because recently some students were expelled for examination malpractice. So let's just watch out and see what's going to happen. Let's move over to security now. A few days ago, CP Akande handed over the command to CP Aminu.
Yeah, kudos to very hardworking, very amiable, and very sincere police officer, CP Akande. He has served meritoriously, even though barely 8 months or 9 months. But I think from his record, we CrossRiverWatch are happy. We are thankful because he's been moved to the force headquarters to serve as CP in charge of ICT. However, let's hope and believe that the incoming CP, CP Al-Hassan Aminu, will do his best. We are all hoping and believing that we'll have a safe and very secure Cross River.
Well, we hope so too, because barely a few days after that event, gunmen kidnapped the ex-council chair in Ugeb.
Yeah, that looks like an after, match, because soon after the CP left, that incident happened. But we don't know what actually happened. I believe that the police authorities in the state are working hard to ensure that, first of all, he's secured and rescued from the captivity, and then of course the culprit arrested. We are hoping that's why I'm saying that we should give the CP time to do his best, and we'll watch out. But the sad thing is that it's happening even in the central area, the Cross River Central, which for a while we've not seen so much of security issues. But let's give police the benefit of the doubt.
Okay, and there are a lot of stories here, and definitely we cannot take all of them. So lastly, I'll just love us to talk about this. People's Power will ensure APC vacates government in 2023. This is coming from Venantius Ikem.
Well, it's just a single person, a single individual, and then politics is a game of numbers. If the PDP have numbers, then, well, they can outsmart and announce APC. But right now, we have a sitting governor, you have almost all members of the State House of Assembly, except for some members of the National Assembly. I think at the National Assembly level, the PDP still holds swear, because I think the governor have about 4 or 3 lawmakers. Let's see how 2023 will come up, will look like. But I believe that it will not be an all-comers affair. It will not be a one-party system as it used to be. I think that 2023 is going to be very interesting.
Okay, we keep talking about 2023. The most important thing is, do you have a voter's card? You should get one today. Just before I let you go, Darlington Edem, you're a journalist, you're the publisher of the Parchment, and also chairman Association of Cross River Online Journalists. So I just want to know, what is it like practicing journalism in Cross River State? Well,
in Cross River, it has not been very rosy. For example, we have so many of our members who are still standing trial. You have the arrest of Jeremiah Achibong, Jonathan Uba. We also arrested, and they stood trial for over a year. While we were trying to get them out, Agba Jalingo was also arrested, and he's still standing trial. So and we don't know how many of us are in the searchlight of government. So definitely we know that we will not find it easy. It is not a very rosy field, but it's something that we have to do with passion, out of passion. If you do not have passion, then you cannot do the kind of job we do. So I believe that it's important for journalists in Cross River State to rise up and ensure that whatever we do is not about any selfish interest, but it's about public interest, public good. Because if journalists keep quiet, you can imagine what our state and entire environment will look like. So at this point, that's why we also hope to celebrate. We have taken a particular date, which is on every 22nd of August every year. We celebrate. We decided to localize our own Day of Freedom, press freedom here, which was actually a date that we chose to bring together all journalists, online journalists, and re-echo again the need for us to continue to be committed and consistent in what we do.
Okay, so what will be your message to younger ones out there in the field, upcoming journalists who wants to go into investigative journalism, but they are wondering, I'm just one person, do I have bodies to support me? Do I have networks? Do I have resources which I can rely on in time of trouble?
I think that first of all is the desire. If you have the desire, then you will always have network. You will always have people. You always have people around who can network with you. Just indicate your desire. This is what you want, and it must be out of passion. It must not be out of desire to have fame or to have money. I remember my lecturer.
Money is important.
Yes, money is important, but I remember my lecturer used to tell me, look, if you want money, don't come to journalism. Don't dream of being a journalist. But eventually, it pays off. So first of all, you must have desire. Once you have a desire, I assure you, you will always have a network of people and resources to work with.
That's the size of our package for you this week on Weekend Fire. Thank you, Darlington Edem, for joining us. And also, you listening and watching on the different online programs. Thank you for joining us. Remember to follow us on social media. We are CrossRiverWatch on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And guess what? You can watch all episodes of this and past editions of our programs on our YouTube channel at CrossRiverWatch TV, or listen to the audio files on SoundCloud and AudioMac by subscribing free of charge to our channel, CrossRiverWatch Radio. Catch you next week. My name is Victoria. Stay blessed.